everybody. My name is Regina Richardson, 3370 Glendale Street. And I got a question and then a few statements. I wanted to ask, what is the repercussion for Mr. Bland or Dr. Bland not attending these meetings? What I really want to say is regarding the curriculum, but he's not here. I can say it to you all, but he's not here. So are there any repercussions that take place for him not being, or someone, even, I guess his wife is the director of curriculum?
Mm-hmm.
Is that it?
Yep, she never's here.
And she's not here either?
No requirement.
So are there any repercussions for that?
You need to do what?
Review the contract.
Oh, review.
Okay.
She's on there now.
Is she on now? Is Mrs. Bland on the,
Yeah,
she's on there? Okay, so then I'll repeat what I said at the other board meeting where I was called to Edgewood School. Is she on there? I was called to Edgewood School for my great nephew who's in a kindergarten class. And he was misbehaving and whatnot, so the teacher called me to come up. I go up to the school, check in, and I go to the classroom, and I stood in the door before the teacher even saw me. 30 plus kids in the classroom, one teacher in the classroom. So then I entered with the secretary, and I introduced myself. We talked for a quick second. She sent my nephew over. I'm talking to my nephew. There was another kindergartner that was dragging another kindergartner by his feet. They were running around. It was different desks there, but not one kid was sitting down at the desk. I happened to look down at the work that they were doing, and just to recap, the instructions had name, and then it was a dash, and then underneath the paper it said instructions, write your riddle. These are 4- and 5-year-old kids that do not even know how to write their name. How I know that is the paper that I looked at where it said name, the student wrote an N, and then the other two, you could tell whoever it was trying to write name. They didn't even comprehend that where you write name is where you write Regina, or whatever the kid's name was. So it was just a disaster. I spoke with the teacher. She said that, she wants to walk out of the classroom. I go back to the office and have a conversation with the principal, and that was for naught, to say the least. So I have a conversation with her, and she basically blamed the teacher, saying that the teacher, she's trying to get the teacher in to show her different routines that she's doing with the kids. She had a list on the back of her wall, and I have copies of all this stuff. She had a list on the back of the wall that said different motor skills or things that the kids should be doing, but she didn't have how the kid entered the room, how they're supposed to line up after recess, and then walk in line, and then go in the classroom, your cubby, sit down, your personal space, etc. And so I told her that I was not there to bash the teacher, because it's not the teacher's fault. She's one person, 31 kids in the classroom, 30 plus kids in the classroom. As soon as she gets one kid to stop, then 3 more are fighting or running, or nose is running, and there were a bunch of kids in that classroom that were not verbal. They were non-verbal. So they probably should have even been back in preschool. So I talked to the principal, and I'm telling her, and I don't understand, how is it that the kids were writing, the babies were writing with number 2 pencils, when they should have been writing with Ticonderoga pencils that are age appropriate for kindergartners. Right. And she said that they were on back, the fat pencils were on back order. And to me, that's unacceptable, because I would have gone to Staples and got 2 boxes of those fat pencils, so the kids would be, because number 2 pencils are are a weapon
Right.
for a 4 and 5-year-old kid. And I just think that curriculum needs to be revamped or gotten rid of as far as the kindergartners. Because we know that when we all probably went to kindergarten, we knew how to tie our shoe. We knew our mother's name, her government name. We knew our address. We knew how to write our name. We knew how to tie our shoes. Unfortunately, these kids cannot do that. A lot of these kids cannot do that. They come from broken homes or whatnot, and that's not to say to give them an excuse, because every single kid that goes to any school deserves a good education.
That's right.
And for us to not provide that for these babies
That's right.
is a travesty. It should be illegal.
It should be.
It is.
And I
It
think
is.
it's
It is.
unacceptable to have the people that are controlling the curriculum and the district, so to speak, to not have to answer
To nobody.
the public.
That's right.
Right.
And I also want to say that
That's right.
volunteering is not just going in the classroom. Volunteering is coming up here tonight too, because I'm lazy and I'm tired too. I don't want to be here either, but my nephews need somebody to fight for them.
Amen.
I'm just going to be here right now. No, I'm not going to go in the classroom and sit and go up to the school and be ushered out.
Right.
And not be allowed to
Right.
help or to volunteer to help these kids.
Right.
Because from what I understand, when you said that they can volunteer, from the last meeting, there isn't even an iChat set up for people, because you got to do the background check. So
Right.
there isn't even an iChat set up for these people. So when we all come up and say, well, yeah, we want to volunteer, then yeah, you got to fill out for iChat, and then we sit and wait for iChat, and it never comes through.
Right.
So it's more than one way to volunteer, and it's more than one way to fight. We want answers. We don't want to come to the meeting every time you have a meeting and Mr. Bland is not here, or
Right.
the director of curriculum is not here.
Right.
Because I'm talking for not because she can't answer,
Amen.
or he can't answer.
Right.
Exactly.
But my nephew still comes home from school every day with work that he cannot even do. And not only him, but the other kindergarten classroom, first, second, third grade, and so forth.
What are we doing?
And while we're sitting here waiting on something to be done, these kids are still failing. Kindergarten is their crucial time.
my
God.
That's where you capture their mind. How do I capture their mind and I tell them to sit down and write a riddle? Of course you're going to have behaviors. They don't have anything else to do.
Amen.
And then you take their recess and give them a snack, and then do what?
Like they're a puppy. Come on, man.
It's ridiculous. I just really think that people that are in these positions need to be held accountable.
There you
for
go.
our children.
Amen. We did something to some kids.
And
We
so
going to
can't
jail.
just keep coming to these meetings saying, well, he's not here.
We going to
and he's
jail.
supposed to be here. Something needs
That's
it
violating our
has to
civil
be
rights.
a sentence
Right to fair education.
somewhere
Right.
that tells you what to do.
Right.
When these people are mishandling and misusing our little brown baby,
Amen.
our little brown
Amen.
boy,
Fire.
and our little brown girl.
Amen.
And I don't understand why everybody else is not in an uproar
Fire.
about
Amen.
these kids. I think every single kid
Amen.
walking in Muskegon Heights should have that opportunity to be a Judge Pittman,
Fire.
be Attorney T. Smith.
Fire.
I think every one of those kids have that opportunity.
Get rid of
And it's our job as a community to help you all make
sure.
them
Yes.
accountable.
Get rid of them. Get rid of them.
Amen. What she
I
got
can
to
go on and on, but I
Get rid of
just think it's a travesty.
What we keep doing this
I
for?
really do.
Get rid of them.
And I think for us to sit here, especially if we're sitting here and our kids don't even go to the district.
Come on, man.
Right.
Come
Right.
on.
Come
So
on
you're
now.
not vested like I am.
Come on now.
My kids are grown, but my kids came through Muskegon
Right.
Heights.
Amen.
I came through Muskegon Heights. And they are productive,
Get rid of 'em.
positive, African-American men and women.
Amen.
And that's what we want our little babies to be.
Get rid of them.
Amen.
Our little babies.
Time for them to go. Get rid of them.
They get mad when you do